All right, guys, this is Crazy Kev here, and I'm here with Ty, Emery. Ty, how are we doing?
G'day, mate. I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome, awesome. Now, Ty, you just competed in Powerslap. I mean, talk to us a bit more about that experience, and what's maybe next for you in the future.
Okay, so initially when I was looking at the sport, I never like I think we've all got a lot of questions, you know. I think there's a lot of people like falling in love, and then there's, a lot of people trying, I guess, ridicule the sport. Um, it probably wasn't until I was speaking to he's actually a PFL world champion. I won't say his name, but he's a PFL world champion, and he kind of made a comment about how it's not a real sport, as to which I found myself getting like super agitated because, by this stage I've already competed. And I got my back up and I was like, well, actually, it's a power sport. And I said, then there's huge elements of being able to remain in control and keep technique and still be able to have enough power to hurt your opponent. And I said, there's actually a whole different lot of elements that's involved with this sport. And I can totally see why Dana White's like on board and why Dana White is in love with Power Slap. I too am now in love with Power Slap. My lead up, I did a lot of training that was more boxing specific. So for me, I'm still a fighter, and I think Power Slap can show like these elements of boxing and can show this KO power for like myself. I think the hardcore part of it is getting to your third slap where you've both been hitting each other, still remain under control, still be able to like keep all these emotions and adrenaline, like, you know, just like, yeah, in control, and still be able to execute perfect technique while under bright lights. Like, this isn't just a normal stage, you're literally in front of like the number one man in the world, Dana White. So I think even that's pretty crazy. um but yeah, I've definitely fallen in love with power stuff, which is just crazy. It's just crazy to even say something like this. um but yeah, so at the moment not too much has changed. I got clubbed in the second, which gave my opponent a foul. And I was just learning that being clubbed by the base of the hand is actually the same force of being hit with like a blunt object. So, I kind of took it upon myself. Although I didn't like see stars or anything. I just kind of remember being like douche and being like, she pushed my face. I hate her. No, I
Yeah,
actually love Nicole. She's the sweetest girl ever. Um, but yeah, so I've kind of just taken this week to be like, just chill out, do something that I never do, and do something that I'm actually that it's the hardest to do.
yeah. Wow. So that's definitely some good stuff there. I definitely am glad to see you in Powerslap. Now, you mentioned you're still a fighter. I mean, do you think you're going to do Powerslap next? You think you're going to do more like bare knuckle? What do you think?
I think the best thing is so I'm now managed by Lionel and Andrew out of Clocked and Loaded. These guys to me are like the best choice to represent me and throughout my career. Now, we do have a few different options, and because we have these different options, we definitely need to put a timeline. See, with BKFC, there's a potential to be out for 6 months or more, and because of that risk factor, it needs to be prioritized where I can still compete. You know, in the given timelines of Power Slap and Misfit Boxing. Um, I still love to fight. I definitely would love to be able to prove that my striking is some of the best in the world. I believe I've got some of the best KO power, and I do believe that I've got some pretty like lethal striking. Um, but yeah, we pretty much, yeah, right now we really just need everyone to communicate with us, and give us like actual set dates and timelines so we can be saying yay or nay, and making sure that I can stay the most active. I think, given what I've given back to the sport, whether it's from BKFC or from having Misfits approach me and Power Slap, I think there should be enough respect there where they can, at least say, hey, we'd love her on this show. And then also for them to understand that for me to build myself within the global platform, as a multifaceted athlete, that, sometimes we may need to say no and be on a later card, just to make sure that in at least a 1 year span, I can, be more active than one fight. Like I waited nearly 2 years for Japan. Um, I waited nearly 2 years for my BKFC debut as well. Um, so it's just really hard to make it all make sense when we're like wanting to stay active and we're wanting to build. That's what every fighter wants to do.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. And we're looking forward to seeing you build. And I hope you're a little bit more active this year for sure. And a lot of people like to talk about Power Slap and the damage it kind of gives to people. I mean, how are you kind of healing and feeling after your performance at Power Slap?
Well, the first couple of days, I definitely, I definitely felt a little more emotional than usual, and I think that's just because there's so many emotions. I think I feel that after each fight anyway. I start to get like really, really present within myself, and I guess start to just think about stuff. Well, not think, just like process. Um, so I think after this one, it's kind of knowing that, I don't know, like you eat a punch and you don't think much of it. But when you're like literally sitting there just taking a full blow, it's like kind of different. I definitely have just like wanted to be eating a little bit more salmon and avocado and try and get like those healthy fats back into my brain. Um, and I think this is probably the first time guilt free I've been able to not go to the gym, for at least a week, where I'm like, okay, I deserve that.
Yeah,
I
no, that
deserve
makes sense.
to regrow some brain cells.
Yeah, no, that's definitely important for sure. Now, I think you're in Dubai right now. I mean, talk us a little bit more about what that's kind of like hanging out over in Dubai.
Well, Dubai's amazing. I literally am at one of the best gyms in the world, TK MMA. Our facility, like, every time I walk in, it's like Tam Khan has just like upgraded. Like one part of it from, we've now got TK 27, which have some of the best strength and conditioning coaches. We've got like one of the best matted out pad rooms, which is under Coach Kusan. Outside, there's so many little sections for like people to like find their tiny little playground to get better. It's definitely a step up. I was living in a third world country. I was living in Thailand for 4 to 5 years. My health started to take just like turn for the worse. So it's been a really good year where I've just like picked up my health, and this is honestly, like, I look in the mirror, I'm like, whoa. Other than my broken nose, like um I definitely look like $1 million compared to where I was a year ago. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely important for sure. Now, with Power Slap, is there any like women or anything like that you'd maybe want to face next in the future?
Well, see, everyone did that. They were like, "You got to call out Paige Van Zandt."
Yeah,
Like, we're all out back, and they're literally like, "You got to call out Paige Van Zandt. You got to call out Paige." And I'm like, "Look, I think that's inevitable. I think like a Paige Van Zandt face off is inevitable." Um, Dana loves this sport. I literally just proved that I can stay technical and give back to this sport as well. So it'd be exciting to see kind of what they want to do with me as a character. Um, I actually looked at the list today, and there's a few girls who are in the bantamweight, which is my weight class. There's a few bantamweight girls where I'm like, "Ooh, I know that girl. She would definitely love to slap me," you know. Um, and just because of that reaction, I was like, hee 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 hee. I was like, that would be actually a good slap. Like, I have no remorse to them, but I do remember how they treated me, and I kind of just thought, she hates me.
there you go. That could be a fun matchup then. We'll see then. Okay. So another thing I was curious about as well too. You obviously mentioned you're still fighting and whatnot. I mean, talk us a little bit more about kind of how you got into the bare knuckle and what you kind of do to train and prepare for those matchups.
Bare knuckle is, I fucking love it. I don't know. I just can't help it. I just feel so alive. It's the best like feeling in the world. I got into it. They called me. They actually scouted me. So that was such a good feeling. I actually, to like a week earlier, had told someone, I was like, you know, I want to be in the BKFC. I just saw that they've got, you know, other girls in the promotion, and I feel like that's like a cool niche that I could get into. I feel like I'm pretty tough for that. And the gym was like, we're not supporting anyone that wants to do that, blah blah blah. And I actually got kicked out of this gym, and I remember just crying my eyes out for days, like, what am I gonna do? I can't afford to go to the gym. And then I get this call, and they're like, hey, we're, you know, this is David Feldman, blah blah blah. Ty's having a hard time believing that this is real. Like, we want you in the BKFC. And I just remember being like, oh shit, this is real. I was like, oops, hi everyone, hey, you know, like changed voices. Um, but yeah, they hunted me, and I just remember it was something that I literally within a 5-day manifestation period um, got into that, and I still believe that I'm one of the best bare knuckle female fighters in the world. I feel like I've been able to prove that whether I was healthy inside like inside the ring or not healthy, even not healthy, I can still last 5 rounds. And when I'm at my best and healthiest, I knock every single girl out. So I feel like that's a pretty good run. Um, of course, there will be bigger challenges, but eh, who, you know, shit
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. No, no, for sure. And now you compete in a lot of like unique events. I mean, was there any maybe like dream location or maybe where you want to compete, whether it's power slap, bare knuckle, or anything like that?
Uh, Honestly, Las Vegas. I think Las Vegas would be a dream. Because one, I played for the Las Vegas Sin in the Legends Football League. Um, I remember, you know, I had a family, you know, I've got family there, like friends who are family, um, in the Nevada area. So I feel like going from my football days and then having that either be BKFC, Misfit, or Power Slap. It's probably going to be Powerslap if anything. Being able to have like the Las Vegas stage, I think that would just be huge, like this huge comeback, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I think that would just be an amazing like midway story in my career.
Yeah. I think that would be a lot of fun for sure. I definitely think Las Vegas would be pretty cool. Now, obviously, you know, you're a beast and whatnot when it comes to fighting and power slap, but I mean, what do you kind of like to do outside of training and fighting?
I love spending time with my dog and tanning and yeah, eating food because really outside of training, don't I don't really do too much, you know, like I like baking and stuff. But really outside of training, I like that's my obsession. So I think you need to be consumed by the sport, and that's just facts. Everyone, you know, you get sick, and that's when you realize you're like, oh my gosh, I really have nothing else to do, you know. So you watch movies and you know pass the time like that, but even then you end up watching like Ada Better Beef like highlights and stuff, you know. So you're like, um, yeah, I'm honestly I'm obsessed with just the process. Um, and hell, even this, what? Oh, I love food. Yeah, everyone loves food, Thai. Like, good answer.
That's that's hilarious. That's a good stuff there. Now, yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, so when you're training in the gym, I mean, what are the vibes kind of like? What kind of music do you like to listen to when you're in there training?
I have a lot of Shazammed music.
Okay.
I hung out with a group. Their name's Reckon Q out of Thailand. Yeah, the boys. And they're more like a house techno sort of group. So I kind of like started to really love. I've always loved house. I actually did the lighting for the number one club in Gold Coast. So I've always fallen in love with like house sort of music. So I definitely have house. I definitely like, oh, what is it, like your hip hop? Is that what we're calling
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah,
Hip hoppy R&B. Like I kind of dig that too. Um, but it's like yeah, a lot of just Shazammed house music. I don't know. I feel like music kind of sets the tone for the frequencies of your brain waves. You know, so I think in those moments, I definitely want to be as like amped up as possible. Um, yeah, any sort of element, any sort of element I can get where I'm just like nah, on a training high. That's probably the best. That's the best music for me.
yeah. That's definitely awesome there for sure. Now, you mentioned your football career a little bit. I mean, what's maybe some of your favorite memories with that?
Oh, honestly, probably I would have to say just anything with the LFL Sin Girls. I That was my favorite team. I There was just like such a sisterhood with that. Um, and you can't even explain stuff like that because there's like literally 30 girls where sometimes we're on tour and we've got one sink, one hair straightener. Like you can't even imagine the fights that would break out. And then throw in that like camera time and favorites, and it was just such a crazy experience. I definitely have to say I was pretty proud when I was made captain. I've been made captain of every team I've ever been on. And I think looking back, that's such, I really pride myself on being a good leader, but just by example. Like I don't think you can really overly tell people what to do, but I think when you're, going and doing the extras, going and doing the work, eating well, not going out, I think like by leading by that sort of example, people see that you start executing on the field, and they want to know how you did it. So yeah, I think looking back and knowing that I was a captain, which meant that, the coaches obviously saw me as an unspoken leader and gave me that position. And I think also being an all-star defense player, labeled that in America, that's pretty huge. I was an import, so I think that's pretty cool to be named like, hey, you're the best tackler in the world. And I was like, hell yeah, I am. I'm a rugby player. Of course we know how to form tackle. Um, so I probably had a little advantage over the girls. I played so much football since I was a little girl. I probably played hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games of football if I think about it. Like I had
That's
a little
awesome.
bit of one up.
Very nice, very nice. Now, when it comes to football, do you watch any football on TV or anything like that? If you have any free time?
I do love watching the NFL. I don't get as much time as I would love to, just because that's a couple of hours, So I definitely don't get to watch as much as when I was playing, just because that's like a visual reps,
Yeah,
visual reps. So I definitely have a few fighters that I try to study and keep up with. Either I like their attitude, or I like certain things elements that I see that myself in. I kind of, I gotta, yeah,
yeah.
like I said, I'm obsessed.
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, the Super Bowl's coming up. Who's your prediction for this one? Choose wisely.
I actually went, I actually got asked this at Powerslap,
Okay.
and I um I didn't go. I went with sugar. I'm having a brain, my brain. Uh, I went with the coach that was out of Ohio, and I think what's the green one? Sorry. Um, oh
The
my
Eagles?
God. Yeah, I went with the Eagles.
Okay, good.
Um, so oh, good. I went with the
Yeah.
Eagles because the coach actually was a wide receiver himself, and he was out of Ohio, which is predominantly like a wrestling state, So I just figured that Ohio is a hard place to live. So I think these guys are definitely like got to be a little bit more badass. Like the heart of Ohio is hardworking. Hence why there's such great wrestlers that come out of there. I think that kind of shows the energy that's about Ohio. Um, so that's kind of who I went. But didn't these guys already like? Isn't this a rerun? Like,
Yes,
isn't
yes, it is.
so? This is also pretty exciting. I think the stats have showed that for someone to re-win a Super Bowl, like how low it is, blah blah blah. So I don't know. I think this shows that the two top teams, like, if this is a rerun, like, oh man, that kind of shows like just the caliber of football and the coaches what they've done, because this is now like two seasons in a row. That's kind of really establishing that, one, it wasn't a fluke, and two, the systems that they have within the coaching, preseason, out of season, like it just shows that they've found the formula. Two seasons in a row definitely shows the coaching staff has the formula, and they're choosing the right boys for the positions.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like, and I think that's a really cool perspective that you kind of said as well. Now, one thing about me is I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I've been teaching for 6 years now, and I love what I do. What advice would you
Cool.
give to all the guys in my gym to keep on coming into the gym and get better and better every class?
Listen to your coach, boys
That's right. There you go.
and girls. Listen to your coach. Listen to your coach. Like, make sure that make sure you find the passion in the hate. Like, whether you hate it or love it, like, find the passion in the hate, find the passion in the process. Taekwondo, definitely keep your feet healed. Um, and definitely try and do like the extras. Try and keep stretching. 100% for Taekwondo. Keep those splits and stretch.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely listen to your coach's number one and learn to love the process.
Yeah, no, for sure, and I'm definitely glad you mentioned stretching. Hopefully, they actually listen and take your advice, and that, you know what I mean. They don't listen to me sometimes.
Well,
Okay.
I got to meet so my one of my friends, he's actually Smiles Infinity. He is had the first female. He's like a part of like the Taekwondo like community, and one of his girls is actually the first Lebanon female like in the Olympics 2 years in a row.
Oh,
Um, Amazing human. Um, yeah, which is just crazy. Like, even for Lebanon to think, oh wow, like such an up and coming sport. And then one of my other friends, who is someone I hugely respect, is Shara Bullet in the UFC. And last camp, he actually brought over a Taekwondo coach that helped with footwork. So for all the MMA guys out there, like, maybe this is the coach for you, like Taekwondo. Like, you get, if that's one of your like skills and you're a fire Pokemon, go learn some Taekwondo and be a better fire Pokemon with that footwork.
there you go. No, that's definitely a good way to look at it for sure. And yeah, Sharp Bullet's definitely awesome for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing him bounce back. And Ty, yeah, Ty, it's been awesome having you on this show. Thank you so much for your time. What's maybe your final message out there for the fans watching this video?
Um, Never give up. I think, only a few years ago, I was literally living out of like a tin shed gym in Thailand, stuck there during COVID, eating like a cup of rice and an egg a day. And here I am today. I'm living out of Dubai. I've got the best manager in the game. I'm surrounded by amazing people. And yeah, I'm like, dreams. It's crazy how it comes out. Like, and where it is, but as long as you like kind of let go to the process of it all, dreams really come true.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely glad dreams are coming true. And Ty, it's been awesome talking to you, and we're looking forward to what's next. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. But before I let you go, do you mind if we post for a picture for the Instagram?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's flex. Let's do it. All right, perfect. Ty, thank you so much for your time. It means a lot to me, and we'll stay in touch. And thank you so much for everything. It means a lot to me.
You're welcome, mate.